YouTube, welcome to episode 8 of the Side Hustle of the Day show. It's a Monday, it's a rainy Monday. The kids are at school, wifey's at work. I'm at work now. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to talk about, last week, 1 through 7, episode 1 through 7. Last week, if you're watching this on the day it drops, which not very many of you will because it's a new show, but whenever you're watching it, the very first week of this show, we talked about a specific person doing a specific side hustle. And I was just highlighting how they did it, what they did, the inspiration for it, trying to give you guys ideas on how to do that. Today, I'm going to take this back to something way more just basic and actionable and something that doesn't get talked about a lot. I've actually been doing a lot of research. I would watch these channels anyway, but I started paying more attention to what they were talking about in the side hustle space and in the gig space and in the side, dare I call it, job, part-time job kind of world. And a lot of them, I mean, we're all pretty much saying a lot of the same thing. It's just everyone has their individual perspectives because they did it a certain way or they did it in a certain area, and it's all different, right? It's all relative to where you are. But what's missing is a lot of just really basic information or a lot of basic ideas that go back to actually hustling, to actually working. I know everybody wants to make money online, and that's partially the goal of this YouTube channel, but that's not the main idea. The main idea is to have a side hustle. If you have a hustle or a main gig or a main job and you want a side hustle, okay, well, sometimes you're going to have to hustle. You're actually going to have to put some work into it. I know not everybody wants to make money online and not everybody's searching these ideas for ways to not work. A lot of you, like myself, whether it's the Latin blood in me or whatever, Mexicans just love to work. If I missed a day at work, if I missed a day at, at any gig or side opportunity, I'd feel bad. I'd be like, oh, even if I was genuinely sick, which I would never call out of work if I wasn't sick, right? So to get back to the main point here is today we're talking about driving. And no, we're not talking about Uber. We're not talking about Lyft or DoorDash. And those are other topics that maybe we'll get into later because I do know people that do those and are actually able to make it work for them because they calculate certain things to make sure that their gas and their distance and all that, car repairs and whatever maintenance are all accounted for. But we'll get to that on another video. Today we're talking about real life hustling, and I'm talking about specifically medical couriers. There's several other niche delivery driver courier kind of jobs you can do with your own car or with a company car, depending on the company. But this is one I did personally myself. I did a lot of real side hustles like this in the past when I was younger. So if you're between the ages of like 18 to 25, even if you're older, like actually let me take that back. If you're older, you might be doing this more. A lot of the guys that I was working with in some of these industries, automotive, medical, documents, confidential special documents kind of stuff, were actually older people. And I'm not talking retired. Some of them were, but others were just, they're trying to make ends meet. And because of their situations or maybe, some of their good or bad decisions in the past, they had to do multiple things to make a living. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I was doing it because I had dropped out of school, even during school and in the middle of that phase where you're trying to find out who you are and what you want to do. So medical couriers, I'm actually going to just show you how easy it is. And this is never talked about, which blows my mind. So I started thinking, let's actually, because it's been about almost 5 years since I've done this particular type of hustle. And it's apparently growing. So I actually just Googled medical courier industry or market. And it's still booming. Like, unfortunately, for whatever, for better, for worse, people are they're still needing medical attention and medical help. So prescriptions and blood work and devices are constantly on the rise for necessity. There's more people are getting older, they're living longer, and a lot of these things are just necessary. So take to Craigslist, everybody. Many different resources on how to get this information or how to find these listings, but start basic, start simple, go to Craigslist. If you are looking for a side hustle or even a job or a part-time job and haven't searched Craigslist or have never or don't ever rarely do it, you're slipping. There's so much opportunity there. I've gotten so many gigs and hustles from Craigslist that it's unreal. So let's dive into Craigslist real quick and then just simply introduce to you something that you may not have known about. All right, so here we are. I'm from Houston, so we're just at the Houston Craigslist, Craigslist.com, choose your city. And if you go to jobs here, there's all these different kind of jobs that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Some of you may not, especially if you're a little bit younger. And if you go down to transport here, these are all the job related, the driving related type of jobs, right? Type in medical courier, and you'll get something pop up here, right? Medical courier driver, company driver, just go through these listings and see what the company, what they're offering. You could probably let's say medical driver, maybe non-emergency medical transportation. So as you can see, some of them require CDL, some of them don't. Hotshot driving is a whole nother side hustle that you can get into for all kinds of different industries, like I was mentioning earlier. And then just see what's available in your city. See what they're offering, see what the requirements that they have, and start exploring that world. Another one, which I'll probably do a whole nother video on, is parts. Whoops, not Pats. Parts driver. Parts drivers, opportunity to make $17 an hour. That one CDL, flatbed. Who's this? There's all kinds of opportunities, guys, is basically what I'm getting at here. And there you have it. That's just take it from my personal, experience. You can make anywhere from at least $100 a day. A lot of these companies, what they do is you're basically a contracted worker for them. So you're your own boss, essentially. They don't take out taxes kind of thing. You have to manage that on your own, whether it's part-time or full-time. You can work anywhere from, 10, 15 hours to 40 plus hours with a lot of these companies. I think STAT is like a medical, career recruiter kind of service. Tons of them. Just do some research. If you like driving, like personally, these headphones, the first week I didn't have them on because I would consciously take them off, but these are always around my neck. I was always consuming some content while I was driving, the medical supplies or the prescriptions or the parts when I was in the automotive industry. I would always wear my headphones. Well, back in the day, it was obviously the wired headphones. And then as time went on, I got a little more fancy, a little more bougie. I got the wireless stuff. I wanted to get buds, but I think I'm sticking to these because sometimes I just need to let them hang and, not have to put them in my little charger in my pocket. But the cool part about it is if you like driving, like you like podcasts, the popularity of podcasts on the rise. Funny enough, I was also starting my podcast back in 2012-ish, 11, 12, 13. And now these industries of driving, because of Uber and Lyft and DoorDashes, are on the rise. The popularity of podcasts are on the rise. So people like just driving, listening to the content, and learning and growing and actually educating themselves while they're making some money. And a lot of it doesn't have to be terribly hard. But if you don't mind being out and about, some of these automotive industry type jobs, like being a contractor for Ford or GM or whatever, they'll outsource the people that drive the parts, and you have your own truck and you provide your own flatbed or whatever, or you can scale down and even have little cars, which some of these shops and body shops and dealerships just need people to get small things, nuts and bolts, and little whatever, control arms or whatever from the body shop to whoever's repairing a car. And it takes somebody to do it. And a lot of these companies don't have their own in-house delivery drivers. They outsource that. So people come in and they start you at minimum $100. A lot of these people, 125, 150, 170, depends on how many miles you're driving a day, depending on what you're carrying. And that's just an easy way to make money while you're jamming out to music. Or I know a lot of you are going to be watching, or rather not watching, listening to podcasts. And what I would do is in that time where you're chilling, you're driving, you're making decent money, especially if you're younger and especially if you're living with your parents and you don't have a whole lot to worry about, make your $300, $400, $500. If you're working full time, you can make $700, $800 a week just driving. But you're going to be putting, if it's your own car, you're going to be putting a lot of miles on your car, your truck. You're going to have to incorporate, the price of all the repairs, tires, oil changes, and all that. But you'll figure it out. If you're watching videos like this, you're definitely smart enough to figure some of that stuff out. Or if not, you can come back here or somewhere else and find out how you would work all that out into what you should be, charging these companies to pay you or to work for them or whatever. But to go back to the original point is learn as much as you can about what it is you really want to do ultimately in order to then leave these side hustles of the driving and the hotshot driving and deliveries, whenever you get to the point where you can actually make a move in the direction you want to go. And where I would start, quite honestly, is these books. I reference them all the time, and I will not stop referencing them because they're just that good. I read Expert Secrets about every 2 or 3 months. I was actually driving down south. I was working a comedy show with Chingo Bling, and on the way down South Texas, Corpus Christi, Texas, I listened to half the book. On the way up, back after the shows, 2 days later, I finished the rest of the book. And what's really good about this, not only did Robert Kiyosaki give the forward for this book, and Dan Kennedy for .com Secrets, but right from the jump, this book starts off with pure gold, and it explains some things that people may not ever have heard or had it explained this way. And there's a lot of little diagrams and stuff like this, which is why you want the book. The audiobook is good too, which I have. I'll listen to it and follow along to actually see these things. But from chapter 1, this is what you're going to learn, and it's going to blow your mind, right? About charisma, especially if you have knowledge or want to gain knowledge in something and then share that knowledge or sell that knowledge in a course or in a whatever, is learning about being a charismatic leader. And specifically right after that is learning about the 3 major markets, information markets, being health, wealth, and relationships, and then how you actually not just sell or develop within these markets, but then break it down to a sub-market and then a niche. And then from that niche, you're off to the races and developing whatever it is that you're really passionate about. But before you get there, you got to pay the bills. You got to make some money. You got to meet new people. You got to learn new skills. And that's a really good place to start. You could really just do this without any kind of special requirements other than maybe age for some of them. I know a lot of them require you to be at least 25, but sometimes you don't have to be. Like the parts world, not necessarily. Medical could be a little different. Special documents could be a little different. But anyway, go to YouTube. Yeah, go to YouTube. Hit subscribe, like this video, and hit the bell notification. But go to Craigslist and see what kind of jobs are in there. And even the gig section, there's like gig section, but in the jobs section, you can still find a lot of side hustles there. If you like driving, hit the transport tab and type in whatever kind of driving you might want to do, or just go through it, pull up the map view. Let's go to that real quick. All right, so here we are. Go from, instead of the list, just go to the map and go to whatever part of the city you're in and see what jobs are available under just transportation, under driving, and you can do this for any city. And if maybe it's not in driving, get away, fly. How are you in here? Maybe it's in something else. But guys, that is today's side hustle of the day. How to make some really good money, actually, just driving your own car or someone else's, delivering simple products or simple devices. And that's that. So without a plan, guys, I don't even remember what I say. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So you don't have to wish. You can actually take some action and make things happen for yourself. I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe with a similar side hustle. But regardless, I hope you guys are getting things going. Join the email list at sidehustleoftheday.com. See you guys tomorrow.